Hi, I'm Mark Goldman. Today I'd like to take a look at the CNC machine. As you probably know, CNC is for computer numerical control. It's a machine that can carve, it interpolates designs that you make on a computer. This machine comes from CWI Woodworking Technologies. It essentially comes fully assembled. There are three main parts to it. This part here, which has the spindle and the table. Underneath I have the electronics component cabinet, and it has a handheld control unit. Let's look at these three components in a little more detail, beginning with the electronics component cabinet. The cabinet itself is fairly large, but it's quite well laid out. It has an off switch, an on switch, an emergency stop, and it has a USB port, which you'll need to put in your designs that are done on a computer. It also has the controller, which comes in through this port here, and you hook that up when you get the machine. The controller is an NC Studio NK105 handheld controller. When you first look at it, it may be a little intimidating, but it's really quite intuitive and not very complicated to learn. One of the nice things about it, it has an electronic emergency stop also. The Professor HDX also comes with a toolbox with everything you'll need to operate it properly. It also comes with three collets, 1/8, 1/4, and 1/2, and of course a couple of wrenches so that you can put them onto the spindle. I built this rolling table to accommodate the Professor HDX CNC machine. It has a width of about 34 inches and a length of 44 inches, and it sits quite comfortably on this table. Whenever I get a new machine, I like to look at it from the bottom up, and this is no exception. Let's begin with the underside of the base of the table. It's completely made of cast iron. It's a very solid base, and it sits comfortably on this table. The other thing I like about it is it comes with 4 adjustable legs. These legs can be put on quite easily. They come in a separate package, and they can turn in and out to raise and lower the table so you can get a nice level table to work on. The table itself is made of black anodized aluminum rails. These are T-slot rails, and the T-slots, of course, are used to accommodate clamps and hold downs for the workpiece. I also like the gantry and the support arms, which are made of 3/4 inch thick aluminum. And there is a 7.5 inch clearance on this spindle to the tabletop, so that gives you quite a bit of flexibility. The spindle itself is an Italian-made 2 horsepower, 220 volt single-phase motor. It runs quite smoothly and quite quietly. The spindle is moved by these precision 5/8 inch stainless steel rods. They work very smoothly and flawlessly and can free travel 234 inches per minute, and depending upon the tool you use, up to 195 inches per minute while cutting. There are 3 stepper motors on the Professor HDX, and of course that's used to control the 3 axes, X, Y, and Z, or Z. The first one, which controls the height of the spindle, is here on top. The second stepper motor is here on the side. This controls the X-axis movement from the left to right. And the third one is here at the back of the machine. This controls the Y-axis, the forward and back movement. I also particularly like the way the Professor HDX deals with the cabling. It puts it into this kind of tractor track, and it moves quite nicely back and forth and folds onto the top of the gantry and support arms out of the way. One of the features I really like about the Professor HDX is this tool measuring sensor. When you go to do some work, you set up your X and Y axis. That's relatively straightforward. But to get the height of the material, this is really a useful tool. It goes down on top of the material like this. You lower the spindle, and as soon as it touches the metal puck, it will determine the height of the material. One area where I'm a little disappointed is these hold-down clamps that come with the Professor HDX. They're rather simple. They fit in the T-slot. You put your material in there and then tighten down these wing nuts. There are other options, and I think that's something you should look at if you're going to use this machine. The Professor HDX also comes with this dust port. Now, I didn't use it for the purposes of this demonstration so you could see how the machine functions. But it's a good idea to use because it does generate a lot of dust. It's very simple. All you have to do is put it onto the spindle like this, and then put a shop vac hose right into this port here. Before we actually can use the CNC machine, we have to design a project on the computer. This Professor HDX didn't come with software, but CWI Woodworking Technologies recommends software that's readily available from VCarve, a UK company, and there's a variety of levels that are easily downloadable. So the project I've chosen to do today is a sign, an outdoor sign for a bakery. Now the sign will be done in two parts, an upper and a lower part. This is the upper one, Boulangerie Artisanale, and I will make sure I have everything set up the way I want it, and then I'll do the second part. Once I have everything designed the way I want it with the software, I transfer the design to a USB stick, which I then put into the CNC machine. All right, this is the project that I've been working on that we just carved on the CNC machine. So today I've given you a first look at the Professor HDX CNC machine. I must say there are many things about it that I'm quite impressed with. I like its construction. I like the smooth spindle. I like the way it moves on the gantry and over the table. And really it's not very complicated to learn. The VCarve software that I was using is quite good, and there are many tutorials available for it, which makes the learning curve actually quite small. I had originally thought that I would like a smaller CNC machine, but now after having used this for a couple of weeks, I see the versatility and the potential it offers. Sure, you can make signs, you can make carved signs, relief signs, but it's also really good to make consistent panels if you're making furniture. It can make decoratively carved panels as well. So there's a lot of potential in it. So my conclusion is, if you've been thinking about a CNC machine, the Professor HDX is certainly worth considering. I'm Mark Goldman. Thanks for watching.